Life isn't about making the most number of the right decisions. It really isn't. It's about at key moments in time, and those moments that really matter most, do you make the right decision then or not? You can make a bunch of small mistakes. You can make very few big ones. And when you talk about a team in the NFL that embodies this, it's the San Francisco 49ers. They've got a great roster. There's no question about that. And the reason they are not currently viewed as a dynasty with 2 or 3 more Lombardi trophies is because of making bad decisions involving the most important position in North American professional sports. It doesn't matter if you have a Nick Bosa, a Deebo Samuel, a George Kittle, a what have you. If you can't get the quarterback position right, none of that other shit matters. And when we talk about the San Francisco 49ers, this really honestly goes back to 2017. Just imagine, especially if you were a believer in Kyle Shanahan being a great quarterback guru, a great offensive mind, imagine how different the trajectory of the 49ers organization is and the NFL as a whole is if the San Francisco 49ers trade back from 2 to 3 in that draft that year with the Bears and allow the Bears to jump up to 2 and take Trubisky like dumb dicks, and then at pick 3 they take this kid from Texas Tech named Patrick Mahomes. It is not exaggeration. It is not making shit up to say firmly, in my belief, that Patrick Mahomes and the San Francisco 49ers, they've probably got 3 Super Bowl titles. Just in the last few years, right? Because in 2019, that 49ers team with Patrick Mahomes certainly wins the damn Super Bowl. And I would assert you could say a similar thing about 2021 and 2022. I have no reason to believe otherwise. That one choice, that one mistake, cost that organization dearly. Especially because in that 2021 draft, the 49ers gave up a shit ton to move up from 12 to 3 to take Trey Lance. So for compensating for the mistake that they made in 2017, as a new organization leadership, you're talking about new general manager in John Lynch, new head coach in Kyle Shanahan, traditionally would lead you to think you're going to draft a quarterback. They didn't do that. Instead, they sat there and traded for Garoppolo, was it a midseason? And you see where that matters. You say, well, the 49ers won a lot of games with Garoppolo when he started, but they didn't win the big one when it mattered most. That's the problem. So they compensated by saying, we have to go get this Trey Lance kid. Knowing he's really raw. Knowing he was going to need work. Knowing he was going to need time to develop. And that's all fine and good. Because the physical tools were very appealing. But what the 49ers have done in the past couple of years with Trey Lance is criminal. It really is. And as much as the 49ers somehow have been able to skate by, while the Bears have gotten all the shit because they took Trubisky instead of Mahomes, blah, 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 blah. Understand the Bears at least took a quarterback. The 49ers didn't even do that. Like, they took Solomon Thomas, who at the time, yes, I was very big on and I was very wrong about. But bottom line is, that's an organization. You could point to the Bears and say, like, hey, if they had a different quarterback than Trubisky, maybe they've got win the Super Bowl in 2018. Certainly. That's a possibility. But the 49ers have lost even more because they passed on Mahomes. And yet you never fucking hear anything about it. And now you're talking about a team that gave up all that they gave up. Basically, think about what they invested in Trey Lance to get to that number 3 pick. They invested 3 first-round picks, 3 of them, a third-rounder, just to move up to that spot to take Trey Lance. Also, he could make 4 starts for them in 2 seasons, and now they have sent him off to Dallas for a 4th-round pick. Meanwhile, having paid Trey Lance over I think it's like $27.5 million. Some crazy shit like that. Like, you're seeing people talking about this as one of the biggest draft mistakes, one of the biggest draft busts of all time. And it is. And somehow, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, especially John Lynch, as being the decision maker as a general manager, I don't even think are going to get the level of criticism that they merit and deserve. Like, you look at what the Miami Dolphins were able to utilize, those first-round picks they got from the 49ers. Look at what they did with them. They used the pick in 2021 to get into a spot, move up back up to 12, from 12 to 6 to go get Jalen Waddle. 2022, that first-round pick was used as a foundation for the trade that brought in Tyreek Hill. Then the Dolphins were able to take the 2023 first-rounder and flip it into Bradley Chubb. So those are multiple impact players the Dolphins were able to get out of moving back a few spots in the draft. Meanwhile, the 49ers got 4 starts from Trey Lance, had to pay $27 million for the right to do so just so they could get a 4th-rounder back from Dallas. What the fuck? What really sucks to me about this Trey Lance deal is they didn't even send him to a fantastic situation. One of the big problems for Trey Lance is he never got the opportunity to play. And it really sucks he got injured last year, and the 49ers have somehow diluted and convinced themselves that they've got the answers now with Brock Purdy. Well, shit, with Brock Purdy's not the fucking guy that Sam Darnold certainly is. Yeah. Really? That's where we're at? The 49ers deserved a faceplant with this type of gross negligence and stupidity at the quarterback position. I mean, no bullshit. The reason the 49ers aren't the preeminent dynasty in the NFL right now is because of how stupid John Lynch has been when it comes to the quarterback position. Period. And if you're going to say, well, look at the contending team he's built. Yeah, and it's fucking funny how that works because you look at the first-round picks of the John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan era, it's a mixed bag with a lot of crap. Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster in 2017. Mike McGlinchey was an average right tackle. He was a top 10 pick and he's gone. Nick Bosa, freaking elite, right? But the next year they take Javon Kinlaw. How'd that work out? Brandon Ayuk was the other first-round pick in that draft. He's been good. So a couple of damn good first-rounders, maybe one solid one, and several fucking busts. And that's not all. You look at other premium picks, like 3rd, 4th-rounders, like those are picks that really matter, right? 2017, Ahkello Witherspoon was solid. C.J. Beathard sucks. Joe Williams, I don't think ever played an NFL regular season snap. You got Fred Warner and Tarvarius Moore. Fred Warner, what more can you say? Stud. Moore, not so much. Jalen Hurd never played an NFL regular season snap. Trey Sermon, Ambry Thomas, Davis Price, Danny Gray, Like so many notable picks, yes, for every Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Hufanga. Like there are some really solid picks in there. The 49ers are only in this spot because of some of those picks. But imagine if they were better in the first round. Imagine if they were better in late day 2, early day 3. Imagine how scary the 49ers could actually fucking be. I'm just mad for Trey Lance again that he's going to a spot in Dallas where he's going to be a backup and he's not going to get the chance to play. I wish he would have went somewhere like in Atlanta. Somewhere like that, where they didn't really have a compelling option. Maybe you could bring Trey Lance in at some point in time, actually have a chance for him to start. Like, they set up Trey Lance to fucking fail here. They just insisted that Jimmy Garoppolo had to play in front of him. Then he gets hurt in 2022. And the 49ers gave Trey Lance absolutely no shot. They never were going to give a shot for Trey Lance to win the starting job in 2023. They had their heart set, their mind set on Brock Purdy, and that's what they were going to fucking roll with. Let's roll with the 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, instead of the guy that you invested all of this shit in. Like, this is criminal stupidity. It's criminal what they've done to Trey Lance's career. It has been. And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan deserve all of the shit and all of the criticism and way more that they're going to eventually, ultimately end up fucking getting. Like, this is pure stupidity. This looks like some Bears football type of garbage. These guys literally don't have a dynasty because of how much they fucked up the quarterback position. But 49ers fans are supposed to believe that Brock Purdy's the guy? You'd forgive them if they, unless they're trying to dilute themselves into believing that shit, if they didn't believe it because they know it sounds really stupid. But go ahead. I hope Trey Lance gets a chance in Dallas, makes the most of the opportunity, whatever opportunity he may get. You know, it's an interesting thought around, like, what does this mean for the future of Dak? Honestly, it might not mean much, right? Might not mean much. But it's just amazing. They gave up so much to get so little out of him in San Francisco. And you could point to the quarterback position as being the reason the current 49ers aren't a dynasty. All of that just to give away Trey Lance for a 4th round pick. Just insane. This is the type of shit that should get a general manager and head coach fired. And honestly, if the 49ers don't make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl this year, John Lynch, at a minimum, should be fired. Because it would mean, once again, he got the quarterback position wrong once again, which is the only thing that the 49ers need to get right at this point. How many opportunities do you give a guy to get something right when he continues to make the same bad, wrong decisions at the fucking position? My God. I mean, this is stupid. The 49ers should be mocked endlessly for this whole Trey Lance crap, because it is that bad.